Keep Right with Ralph K. Ginorio. Emptiness invites possession. One need not believe in demons to acknowledge the danger of being possessed. The last time that you fell madly in love, you were likely possessed by joy. When you became outraged beyond reason, you were possessed by fury. When crowds violently violate the laws of God and man, the individuals who make up the crowd are possessed by the collective mob. We humans are like grasshoppers. When these insects densely congregate, their physical aspect changes. Their carapaces become spiky and dark in color. Instead of behaving as discrete individual grasshoppers, each forms a proverbial cell in the greater body of a much larger creature, a locust swarm. When a certain critical mass of people gather into an emotional crowd, a mob can form. Like a locust swarm, a human mob is a collective organism. It hungers for violence like no individual who isn't a psychopath. A mob monomaniacally pursues the satiation of its unslakable thirst to consume and destroy. Demons do exist. They are the unbridled passions that consume any human being who chooses to indulge in an emotionalism that eclipses the conscious, rational mind in favor of primal and animalistic drives. A demoniacal presence is there when lost souls commit crimes against themselves and against humanity. All varieties of murder, mass murder, suicide, assassination, and fratricide are rites of human sacrifice to these demons. So also is kidnapping, rape, incest, child molestation, and emotional blackmail. When human beings are psychically mutilated in order to satisfy the out-of-control urges of a lost soul, a demon is at play in our world. It requires no extrinsic dark lord or legion of hell to explain demons. These infernal deceivers may very well exist independent of humanity. However, our own broken human nature is quite capable of bringing hell to this earth all on its own. History demonstrates that there are always people who give themselves unto fury and deprave their own humanity while destroying those around them. However, it is not merely lost individuals who summon up a darkness that thirsts to annihilate innocence. Cultic groupthink has invited many to abandon their human duty to judge and choose right from wrong. They instead subsume their consciousness into the mob. From the ancient child-sacrificing Baal cult to their modern pro-abortion equivalents, the lives of the most helpless innocents are expended in service to despair and vanity. From the Kali-worshipping Thuggee cult, the murderers of Hindu India, to the genocidal National Socialist Schustaffel, the SS of Nazi Germany, participants willingly deaden their own consciousness or their own consciences in order to live without regret in someone else's simplified and idealized world. Emptiness invites possession. Persons who lack meaningful connections to a vivid and living wider world are prone to give up on themselves and on having any future. This is why healthy families embrace children, raising them with intensely loving interactions. This is why schools welcome young people into our shared convictions in the hope that each student will be acculturated into our shared American identity and values. This is why it is so important for faith to be a part of bringing up healthy children, so that they do not one day awaken as adults into a nihilistic belief that life is a hopeless joke ending in a meaningless death. Faith demonstrates how mere physical mortality is but one aspect of our existence. Faith can tell us that the universe has purpose. Life has meaning. We are not alone, awash in a sea of chaos. We are connected to a genuine transcendent reality that is more than the inevitable mortality of our body. These convictions give us the hope necessary for a well-lived life. Tragically, there are those who wish us to be alone, frightened and in despair, because our vulnerability gives them power. They include both Marxists and Satanists who glorify unrestrained human nature and promise everyone an earthly paradise if only we destroy everything that holds human nature in check. These demagogues now include the mainstream leadership of the Democrat Party. Today, anyone who supports President Trump, the MAGA movement, and even the Republican Party is damned as a Nazi, Gestapo-loving white supremacist who is a racist, sexist, homophobic enemy of our democracy. No doubt they say we have bad breath, too. Such deplorable people, Democrats openly imply, deserve nothing short of death. And now that murderous madmen are killing their opponents, finding any Democrat who renounces their overblown and hyperbolic rhetoric is nearly impossible. Instead, unmoved by Charlie Kirk's assassination, these progressive paragons equate his murder with the temporary suspension of a mediocre late-night talk show host. There is no shame among these Democrats. Promoting schools and a wider popular and high culture that decries what they call the unique sinfulness of America, denounces the West, denigrates traditional love, and undermines family ties. These revolutionaries empty their victims of hope. Like any cult, they isolate the vulnerable from any meaningful connectedness with others. Stoking isolation and despair is so easy to do today because of a decline in satisfying interpersonal interaction, coupled with an intensifying social media. The propaganda of despair masquerades as news. Corrupted schools teach that we deserve destruction. In such a dystopia, we have no possibility of either living rich nor fulfilling lives. That's what they assert. The lost and loneliest are stripped of their humanity, becoming empty vessels instead of dreaming of a better future and then making it happen. These young people who should be full of hope and are full of promise become despairing souls, lost because they have been told they have no reason to hope. In doing so, in becoming empty, they become willing tools of evil. A soul emptied of hope and loving relationships is extremely vulnerable to demonic possession. We must stop permitting leftists to blight the lives of countless young people with their lies. We must reclaim hope and proclaim hope to all Americans. Thank you for listening.